Start streaming. There we go. Hey, everybody, and welcome to EduMatch. Thank you so much for joining us. So follow along with us on Twitter with the hashtag EduMatch. So speaking of EduMatch, did you know that you could be the featured person of the day? Check it out under the Get Connected tab. So get connected, and then just hover and you'll see person of the day. So just wanted to thank everybody who joined in EdCamp Voice, and wanted to give a huge shout out to EdChange Global, which will be coming up a little later on this month. So definitely that is going to be a fantastic time. A lot of great learning going on. So today we are going to be talking about the maker mindset and coding. So we're going to kick it off with some panel introductions. We're going to kind of Brady Bunch it. So we're just going to go from right to, let me see, we're just going to go across just like this. So we're going to start first with Debbie, and we're going to save Marcos for last. So Debbie, if you could please introduce yourself.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Debbie Bergen. I'm a school media specialist, elementary in Freeport, Long Island. And I did start coding 2 years ago and very excited to talk about it tonight, as well as the maker mindset.
Awesome. Very, very happy to have you here, and welcome to EduMatch. All right, great. Let's go next to Anjanette.
Hello, everybody. My name is Anjanette Washington, fifth grade Digital 5 teacher, coder, mom to a coder, college professor of computers, and love EduMatch. So I'm excited to be here.
And EduMatch loves you back. So welcome back. Thank you for joining us. All right, Tamara.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tamara Pearson. I'm Associate Director of School and Community Engagement at Georgia Tech in Atlanta. We do a lot of work working with schools, trying to get them interested in coding, and especially how do you connect coding to this maker mindset. So I'm excited to be here.
Great. Super excited to have you. Great. And let's go next to Tavia.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tavia Clark. I work at the Friday Institute at NC State University in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I do PD primarily for K-12 educators and some leadership opportunities for them as well. And I'm really excited to be here too.
Awesome. And we are excited to have you as well. So welcome to EduMatch. All right, Renee.
Hi, everyone. I'm Renee Henderson, and I'm an instructional technology specialist in Prince George's County, Maryland. I work primarily with our high schools in our district doing professional development on all areas. Love coding, excited about getting coding started in a number of our schools, but mainly interested in making sure that teachers have the right mindset for this coding that needs to be going on in the classroom. So hopefully we can steer the conversation in that direction.
Awesome, Renee. So glad to have you. Great. Next, Nahel.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sanel Bata. I am from Clark County School District in wonderful, hot Las Vegas, Nevada, only 108 degrees today. I basically work with a lot of the current technical education programs as well as STEM initiatives within Clark County School District. And we have started to roll out a number of different makerspace projects as well as coding. And especially here in Nevada, 3 weeks ago, our governor signed SB 200, Senate Bill 200, which basically means that there will be K-12 computer science taught all the way from kindergarten to high school in every single school district in Nevada. So right now they're working on their curriculum framework and all that. So obviously coding is something that's going to be tremendous here in Nevada. And we're one of the few leading states that are taking the charge on that. So.
Awesome. That is fantastic and super great to have you on panel. So welcome to EduMatch. All right, Michael. All right, Michael, we're not getting audio on you. Could you, let me see, it looks like you are unmuted, so not 100% sure why the audio is not coming through. So if you could just like disconnect and maybe reconnect, and then we'll be here when you're back. Okay. So let's go next to Noah.
Hi, everybody. I'm Noah. I'm a middle school science teacher from Israel. I've experienced coding a few times by myself in Minecraft, and I'm hoping to get it into the science curriculum, on my account, not as an initiative of the state or something like that, because I think it's very important that students and kids learn how to code. And I'm excited to be here and listen and learn from you guys. And thank you for this opportunity.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us on panel. Great. Let's go next to Susan.
All right, hold on. Mute myself. Hi, I'm Susan Brown. I work in Prince George's County Public Schools. I am an instructional specialist for our Office of Library Media, and my goal is to get the makerspace mindset, which to me includes coding, in all of our schools and all of your schools. So anything I can do to help, I know that's a big thing. You guys sound like you've got wonderful things going. I worked real quickly. I worked with all of our Title I schools and all of our tag pullout schools to start some maker. I don't want to say curriculum, but the kids were doing maker projects, and part of it was coding. So yeah, go coding.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Go coding. Wonderful. All right. Nicole.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Good. Good. How you doing?
Good. My name is Nicole Taylor, and I am a blended learning specialist for a district right outside of Dallas, Texas. I work with teachers from pre-K through 12th grade to help them implement all things digital teaching and learning in their classroom. This last school year, we actually started, as in gathered resources and started kind of having some conversations, a mobile makerspace, really looking for ways to make sure that making is just something that we do, that it's seamless, it's embedded in what we do in our classrooms on a day-to-day basis. And I am excited to learn from everyone tonight.
Awesome. And we are excited to have you. So welcome back. Welcome back. All right, let's try Michael now. All right, it seems like the sound is still not coming through, Michael. So sorry about that. Maybe could you try to pull out your headphones and see if that might work?
You hear me now?
Yes. All right, go for
it. Oh my God, it was the headphones. Who would have thought?
I know, right? That's crazy.
Oh
yeah, but if you could just please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Absolutely. I'm Michael Buste. I am a sixth grade teacher. Well, I will be a sixth grade teacher this year at Knox Gifted Academy in Chandler, Arizona. I am right now on the last day of my vacation in Maine. So tomorrow I go back to hot Arizona. So and in terms of coding and makerspace, what I really want to build is a chatbot. I don't know what I want it to do, but I just want to build one. And then in terms of makerspace, our school has really kind of embraced this idea of maker education. And the thing that I really want to kind of share with my faculty and my colleagues is that it's not about stuff. It's about a mindset. And I've heard that come up a couple of times over today.
Yeah, definitely about that mindset.
I'm done.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much. All right. And last and certainly not least, we're going to our awesome moderator, Marcos.
Thank you so much, Sarah. This is so exciting, and I'm so humbled, first of all, to be amongst some awesome educators from all over the place. This is a great way of connecting, which is the mission of EduMatch. So we are here today, and just give you a quick background on myself. My name is Marcos Navas. I'm a technology facilitator here in Union City, right across the river from New York City, just on the Jersey side. I'm currently running Union City Summer STEM camps, having a great time there, introducing kids to coding, to all types of maker activities, 3D printing. We're incorporating a lot of guests coming in as well, local universities and museums and local maker spaces as well. Also here in Jersey, we have the Maker Depot, which is the largest maker space in New Jersey, and I'm lucky and fortunate enough to lead their educational team. So certainly know a little bit about making and integrating that world into education. We're definitely running camps and doing a lot of programs out there, a lot of PDs for educators as well. Also, please keep a lookout for hands-on coding. If you go on handsoncoding.org, I am actually dropping very soon with a great team, an amazing team, Laura Flemings, Joanne Presbury. We're dropping coding blocks. So these are going to be physical blocks that kids can learn and use at their desk with no devices necessary, making it very inexpensive and a great way to learn how to code fundamentally from the bottom up. And that's something we have to keep in mind as well when we're moving on with coding. It's not just, hey, let's throw them on this website and show them a little bit of coding. It's a integration, and it's foundational learning as well. So, but let's get started. We have some great questions tonight. And we're going to jump right into it. And we do want to talk about the mindset as well. And you will see that this maker STEM mindset, if you want to throw that in as well, they all really integrate and play off each other. And if you ever read or seen the TED Talks by Carol Dweck, the growth mindset, and I think it's the time that education starts taking a deep look into growth mindset, not just as a recreational read, but almost as a PD that teachers got to look at, because it's time that we start exploring that and spreading that in all classrooms. And the maker mindset and the growth mindset are really married hand to hand, and they're very, very similar in nature. But let's go to question one. Knowing how much of a role coding and computer programming is going to be in the future, because looking at the stats and even the job market that's coming down the line, we're seeing a big need in this field of work. What are some ways you can or do currently incorporate these ideas into your classrooms?
Well, I don't know. Can we just jump in here? All right. I'm an elementary librarian, so I have K-4 library. And about a couple of years ago, I heard about maker spaces and coding. Somebody had said that there was an hour of code, which I tried. And then my science director came to me the next day and said, "This is a book on Scratch coding. Do you think you could teach Scratch?" And I said, "Yes, I can teach it." I had no idea how to do it at all, but there was a book I could read. I was a librarian. So I got together fellow librarians, two other elementary librarians, and we wrote a math curriculum, a coding curriculum based on Scratch, but infusing math terms like algorithms and conditionals and looping. So the main goal is not that they come out, because they're only fourth graders, is not to come out being able to do coding, because actually it's only blockly, but it does give them the vocabulary and the idea of what it is. And I just saw somebody wrote that the offline things are great as well, which they are, because you really just want to understand what an algorithm is. They have to start there. And the other thing is there are other tools to bring in. I know I'm jumping around, but these little Bebot robots, which aren't, people will say, they're not that much you can do with it. But you can use them even to teach your faculty what coding is. And I think that's one of the problems too. The faculty hears all these things and they say, "I don't know what that is." And I'm old already. I don't even know what it is either, but I want to learn, and I'll never stop learning. So I just pick up, I read, and you find out that you can do these things. So I think this year, one of my goals is to get the faculty on a PD just to explain, what is coding? Can you tell me what coding is? I've done something for parents, but now for them to understand that it's not really all that weird or hard. It's just, where do you want to jump in and just teach the little ones how to even start thinking that way? So I could keep going on, but I'll give somebody else a chance to respond.
Can I go next? So, two quick things. As she just mentioned, CS Unplugged is a great way to involve teachers and students. And so the activities are great. You don't need any devices. And I did put in the Twitter chat two resources, one from code.org and one from CS Unplugged. And they're just really great activities that will teach students computational thinking. So they teach them the thinking and the syntax around coding before they even touch devices. So it's a great place to start. And especially if you have teachers who are a little hesitant about the tech because they feel like they don't know enough to actually lead students in it, this is a great place to start because it kind of helps to level the playing field and they can learn as the students are learning. And another really quick thought that I had was code.org's Hour of Code is really great. So it's in December. It's a day that people do coding. So what I tried to do with that when I was a high school librarian before I got to Friday Institute was instead of using it as just to promote coding, I actually tried to use it as a celebration of all of the coding that had been going on all year, because to me, it was about coding all the time and incorporating that kind of computer science thinking into curriculum all year. So that was more of our celebration. And so I had like events every day. And one of the cool things that I tried to do is I blocked off time during lunch one day where it was just for teachers to come to the library. Kids were eating in the library, but I blocked off a space just for teachers to do coding activities and to kind of play. And so all the students got to see the teachers involved. And I let some student experts come in and help the teachers to kind of make it a little more fun and make it a little bit of feel like less of a risk for them. So I just think Hour of Code is great, but use it as like a celebration as opposed to just a one day of coding at your school for the year.
Can I jump in? I'm in Broward County, which is the Fort Lauderdale area. I'm glad you mentioned Hour of Code. It was a grant that was I wrote 4 years ago and won Sphero robots. So my class got involved with $1,000 grant. We wrote Sphero. We got the Spheros. We did Hour of Coding. Hour of Code brought professional development into Broward County. Every teacher in Broward County now has the opportunity to do the Hour of Code coursework for the entire year in Broward County, elementary, middle, and in high school, they offer the CSAP capstones for the high school students. In addition to that, my school to get a makerspace classroom where students can do activities with coding and other makerspace activities with Sphero, Hour of Code, and so many other different coding websites. So it's been a real joy over the past 4 years to get involved with coding.
I'd like
everyone. Sorry. This is Sanel. I just want to make a couple comments just to highlight some great answers there. I love the idea, and I can't remember her name, but when you think of coding, especially now since Nevada, we're thinking of it as for K-12, every single grade level. We're really starting off with computational thinking and the basics of math, because that's really the foundation of coding, and then building upon that and letting students and starting at kindergarten, letting students know that every job in the future is going to be a computer job. If you think about it, every job is going to have some aspect of using some form of technology or some piece of technology. We've seen that, especially here in Nevada in manufacturing. A lot of times you thought manufacturing was assembly line workers, but even though automation is coming into play, and we have Tesla, one of our big manufacturing companies here in Nevada, someone's still got to program those robots. Someone's still got to, tell it what to do. So I think, using robotics and different STEM activities each and every year, and just kind of building from that, because since we're building a framework from all the way, starting from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade, we're trying to be deliberate and making sure that all the activities done at each grade level build off of each other, so that eventually when they get to the high school level, there's going to be a requirement that they be able to, in essence, take and pass a computer science course. It's not going to be an AP computer science course or anything like that, but it's going to be some form of course that basically prepares them. Because I think a lot of times teachers, students, everyone thinks they know technology because of those wonderful handheld devices we all have called cell phones. But really, do we really know how it works? The insides of it. How we're able to do FaceTime and different calls like that. So, but I could go on and on, but I wanted to make those comments.
I'm hoping I can jump in. This is Susan. Um, I guess you guys are hearing me. I don't know. So I have been lucky enough to work with a large school district at the admin level and working at getting maker spaces, including the coding part involved in. Our focus has been fifth grade across the school system, and we have looked at ways to get hands-on um, learning. And in our system, we have been looking at using paper circuits and e-textiles and building the ability for the fifth graders to um, either work ahead or get some hands-on experience with the electrical part of their the curriculum in their fifth grade science. But bottom line is what we're doing is working towards having them be able to use some form of Scratch. Hopefully, with our well, we're leading towards Arduino. Um, we're using a lot of good stuff out of Spark Fun, and yeah, it's been going really well, and it seems to be building. I have a middle school that's going to go full scale um, makerspace Fridays, and so on and so forth. So, um, um, yeah, I don't know how to share. Yeah, um, well, I'm gonna let let somebody else talk.
I'm ready to go here. Um, the couple of things I was thinking of in terms of the question number one is the idea that we as teachers need to be expert coders. Needs to just we need to get rid of that. We need to make sure that our kids know that we're learning right along with them. We may have some teachers who are some coders and maybe some that are not. I think that's an important piece for them to realize. The other part too is like things like with Scratch or some of the other where it's like drag and drop program, to really have kids, once they feel comfortable to kind of get out of that drag and drop kind of format and then open it up to, so they can see the code, whether it's in JavaScript or it's in C plus or whatever the coding language is, so that they can see what do those blocks actually do. And once they start to see that stuff, and then they start to see the syntax, and they, once again, it is all computational thinking, it's all order of operations, it's all mathematics, it's syntax. It really starts to come to life to them.
I'm just going to jump in real quick because first of all, some amazing and great answers, and I'm just so happy and excited to see coding just growing and being a huge part of where education is going as well. I love. I'm currently running STEM camps, and I love seeing progression and really tying in coding into just stuff you're doing already in the curriculum. If you're doing word problems, there's ways of bringing in robots and coding to help you do that. If you're doing even writing, there's ways of, incorporating coding and things there as well. So I just want to, first of all, awesome, great answers, and I love that everyone's so excited and really moving towards coding. So at STEM camps, just to show you guys what I'm doing with the coding side of things is, again, I'm going progressional. So we have 2 camps going. One is for kindergarten to 3rd grade. And at that camp, we have Kinder Lab Robotics, have these awesome little robots for pre-K and kindergarten. And it really gets them introduced to this idea. And it was put together by Marina Burns, who's actually one of the founders of Scratch and Scratch Junior, I believe. I'm sorry. And then I know she's part of a university as well, but it's one of her products and it's amazing. We are also doing Scratch Junior at that younger age, and kids jump all over it. And we're able to incorporate a lot of language arts into coding, where now we're doing digital story making through Scratch Junior. And the kids seem to love that, and it's a big hit. One of the other things I want to highlight in that smaller little camp that we have going here in our district are Ozobot robots. I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with Ozobots. They are small little robots, very inexpensive. I mean, inexpensive and, in the real world sense. But they run off line patterns and with colors. So it's a great way to introduce colors, great way to introduce, tinkering and thinking and and trying to solve problems. And what if the line doesn't work? How do you go back and solve that? But then it could get deeper into some of the lessons that are available there and some of the things you can do with the Ozobots, because there's a coding component behind that as well. And as we progress into the upper camps, we have Dash and Dot robots, which are Wonder Workshop's awesome little robots. They're sold in class packs. They're sold in many different ways, but you can code them. There's about 5 free apps, and they all involve coding one way or another. I also love bringing in drones and not just flying them around for the heck of it, but actually integrating it with algebra and coordinates and being able to move a drone from here to there and figuring out the coding behind that. I like using Parrot mini drones and using Tickle to operate those, which makes it very open and wide for everyone to use. So I just want to give you guys a little idea of where I go with the coding world. And of course, hands-on coding, or I'm using those at camp as well, just to introduce kids to the coding world. So are we ready for question 2? This is so exciting. I mean, the energy is great. I love the answer. So let's keep them coming. So question 2, how do you use your classroom makerspace to foster innovation and creativity with your students? Because at the end of the day, it's all about the teacher and what they develop and how they're able to put the student in the center of the classroom. So how do you use your classroom makerspace to foster innovation and creativity? What are some things?
I want to jump in right now since you run in the teachers. There's a twofold thing here. We've shared some wonderful things that are available for students, but I really wanted to get a little bit about what are we doing to help support the teachers. I agree with you. They don't have to be coders, but as many school districts like Nevada are saying, computer science, K through 12, other districts are saying the same thing, but we have a lot of teachers out there that are fearful of that. So code.org offers awesome free training in computer science. And if you go to their website and look under resources, you can see a map that gives you a listing of where the trainings are located. You can even request as a district or just as a school, if you have a number of teachers, for them to come in and do the training. And once again, the good thing about it is it's free. They do many of the activities. There are 2 sections of it. There's the elementary section, and then there's secondary. So you can even split your teachers up into groups. So I think we need to think of many of the resources that are available to support our teachers, because they can easily go on and I love all the things you said you were using. Ozobot, I've used those. But those are the things that the kids can immediately see and get involved in. And then we just become on the sidelines because as educators, as I'm working with my teachers, yeah, I can show them how to do it, but they need some solid professional development to support them, or there's just going to be something else that they're going to be fearful to do in the classroom. So even in building makerspaces, I have teachers that are excited about makerspace, but they don't know where to begin. And we need to look at that as we are talking about the things that we need to make those things happen, makerspace and coding, but also, as we said before, the mindset of our teachers is extremely important.
Hey, I just wanted to add, Renee, 100% agree with Nevada. Even though we passed K-12 computer science, the first step was to create those professional development opportunities for all the teachers. So completely agree. We actually have NSF funding to provide PD this next year to basically train our thousands and thousands of teachers to get them familiar with it and understand, hey, what's really necessary at that particular grade level. So I just want to add to that. Thumbs up to PD.
Can I jump in?
Oh, okay.
Uh, in addition to the teachers, it also starts with the administrators. If you don't have an administrator or an administrative team that supports the teachers who then teach and instruct the students, you will get nowhere. So it's crucial that the principals and district administration first get the mindset, and then it trickles down to the teachers, and then the students can fly because they have support from the district level, support at the school level, and then support elsewhere.
I just wanted to jump in. I think one of the key things as I think about my own personal three children, because we code and we do all of the things at home as well. And I have a child who just does not like coding. So I think one of the biggest part here is to also ensure that administrators and teachers understand that it's not just about the thing, the cool Azobots. It's not just about the cool B-bots, but the thinking behind the skill. And so my 13-year-old who says I don't like it, I said I don't care because it's helping you practice these critical thinking skills. And so we're going to find a way to help you just think. So I think that's one thing too, to just ensure. A lot of times I feel as if administrators, well, I know administrators and teachers, they don't buy into it because they really don't understand what it's about. They just see it as an additional thing. So just when Renee was talking, it just made me think about, as we're unrolling these, we understand what it is, to just ensure that the teachers understand the skills that we're really trying to drive home through maker spaces and through coding.
Can I jump in real quick? Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to speak quickly on the PD aspect because I think that's really important, and that's primarily what I do. So I'm working primarily with teachers and leadership in schools. And so one of the things that we pretty much try to infuse, no matter what our PD is the idea of plurn time. And I don't know if everybody's familiar with that or not, but we call it plurn. And it's play learn time. So no matter what we're doing PD on, whether we're infusing computer science or whether we're infusing design thinking or whatever, we always try to give teachers time to plurn. And I think that that's really important because what we hope that does is that they will take that same mindset into their classrooms and realize that kids do need time to kind of play and learn and discover and explore. And it also allows teachers during PD to kind of take risks and try new things in what is more of a safe environment, so that they don't feel like they're going to fail in front of their students. So anyway, I just wanted to share about Plurn because I just think it's really important. And I love that someone spoke about PD because I just think that, we have to empower and build confidence with teachers, so that they can take these kinds of things back to their classroom.
I'd like to chime in about that second question, if that's okay. Awesome. The question is, how do we use that makerspace to foster innovation and creativity? I mean, the simple answer is, how do we not? I mean, it's way too easy just to say that, but that's really what that is. I've been really kind of struggling with the idea of makerspace and maker education, and that it's a thing. And that you go to the makerspace to be creative, to be innovative, to build, to design, those types of things. And I'm just really, really, I try to bite my tongue sometimes when I hear people talk about it. The way that we think about it at our school, at least in our grade level, is that our rooms are our makerspace. Our outdoor area is our makerspace. Our library, our office, our parking lot. I mean, if you think about like artisans and in the people who are doing who are really empowered by the maker movement at maker fairs, they don't limit themselves in terms of a space. They're inspired by anything that's around them. I mean, granted that my school has had the luxury of having lots of tools and lots of resources, and it's just but you take all that away, it doesn't really matter. It's like, okay, what do you want to do? Let's go see if we can find it. Do we need it? Oh, so you need a screwdriver. Oh, okay. What kind of screwdriver do you need? Well, let's go find one, or let's bring one in tomorrow. So it's really, for me, it's about what do the kids need to know how to do, and what do we have available to us? And if we don't have it available to us, how can we be creative in terms of creating the tool?
Can I jump in? I wanted to pick up on what Michael just said, because I think that the way that I'm thinking about the question is about not just how do we utilize our makerspaces for innovation, but specifically innovation in computer science. Because I think that computer science inherently should be a part of the maker mindset, right? Computer science is about the creation of something from nothing, which is all about what we're supposed to be doing in our makerspaces. So if we allow that tool into the makerspace, then we're just, equipping our students for more and more careers that they wouldn't normally have access to. So I wanted to say that, but I also wanted to kind of add in, because most of the schools that I work with are Title I schools, and they have access to all of these things, but I get nervous. Back in my graduate days, I did a lot of research on the digital divide, and I feel as though it's coming back full force with this focus on computer science. I think computer science is really important, but to really become a computer scientist, you have to have access to these things more than just during the school day. You have to have access at your home. You have to have access in the summertime. So how are we, the kids that I work with, I just did a summer bridge for rising sixth graders who, most of their families would not have been able to afford to send their kids to any summer camp. And we did robotics with them for 2 weeks, and they made amazing things, but they don't get to do that at home. Now they go home and they spend the rest of the summer sitting in their house waiting for school to start. So, how do we create a equitable experience for kids that don't have access to Dash and Dot and Sphero and all those things when they get home? They only get it for the 90 minutes a week that they're in STEM. So that's just all I wanted to say about that.
All right, I'm just going to jump in, and first of all, great, awesome answers again, and piggybacking on some of the conversations. First of all, I think PD is huge. There's many ways of getting PDs nowadays, whether it is on your own initiative and going out there to some of these platforms to learn on your own. But there's my favorite being a founder of EdCamp Urban. I love sending teachers to EdCamp so that they can tinker and put themselves out there and learn new ideas. And when it comes to coding or robotics, EdCamps I think are a great way for teachers to learn a lot of this stuff because it lets them get hands-on with it, and they can pretty much take that risk with less fear than in front of a classroom per se. But the most important part of this whole PD piece is that the educator, because again, none of us have a coding degree. We're all just educators, who have a passion in this world or see students have a passion, so we're jumping on it. But again, there's a lot of PD out there available for all of us to engage in. Maker mindset, huge. And it is all tied into this. So we want to move on to question number 3, which is, how do you promote student empowerment and voice in your school/classroom? So how are we, making these, creating not only student-centered classrooms, but how are we giving them a platform, or how are we empowering them and giving them a voice to education, and how are you doing that in your schools and in the classrooms?
I'd like to talk about what we're doing. We have kids working, doing maker fair-like pieces in our school system. We're going to keep building that, and having this is kind of a cross between 2 and 3. Having the kids teach teachers what they're doing, how they're doing it, and we're taking that kind of thing statewide. I'd like to take it international. I think we should be doing that kind of thing at ISTE. We'll see. But the kids learn so much from teaching, as we know we do when we do, and they get to have their input into what they want to share.
Can I jump in? Oh, Michael's. Okay.
Are you there? Should I go? Awesome. Okay. I'm trying to think of the 2 ways that we're trying to empower kids that not necessarily related to computer science or even the Maker Ed movement or anything like that. We have an interesting thing happening at our school, in that it's only been open for 6 years as a gifted academy. And so this year will be our 7th year. And we have a small group of kids who have been with us since kindergarten. And so and there are only 9 families who've stuck around since kindergarten. And so it's kind of an interesting perspective from them, because they've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so we're asking not only the kids, but also the parents to kind of help us recreate this 6th grade model, to just because they've seen it all. Other things that we're trying to think about in terms of student leadership, which would go to the empowerment and voice, would be, we really want to think differently about student council. I mean, if you think about how student councils generally are run, it's a popularity contest. Who's got the best poster? Who's got the best speech? And are those truly the best leaders on your campus? And who are the best judges of those leaders? And maybe in an elementary campus, it's not the students who can be those best judges, but maybe it's former teachers who can help guide them. So we're really actually thinking about redesigning our student council to have it be more of a leadership council and have those 6th graders take those roles. And then, people start to look up to them. We'll put them out there as much as we possibly can. And the 5th graders and the 4th graders and all those people below them and can aspire to be, the leaders on the campus. So just a couple of ideas.
So can I jump in now? Okay, good. One of the things I just want to say is all of this about empowering the children. I think one of the things that we've learned at my school, what we're seeing, is that we can't give them the answers all the time. And that's, you really do need to frustrate them so that they can really start thinking for themselves. And it's really hard for the teachers, I think, sometimes, because you want to help them along. But I just know from certain things, like when I first got the Dash and Dot robot, just an example, I just opened the box and gave it to the students. I didn't even know how to use it. And they didn't either. And they go, "What do we do?" I go, "I don't know, because I've never looked at it. I'm opening up for the first time. Tell me." And in the beginning, it's a little bit crazy because they don't know what to do, but they figure it out. And the expression on their face when they figure it out, it's like, like I got it, is more powerful for them, because then they know they can do that and build on the successes. So I really think that one of the things to empower them, and in my school, I had a 3rd grade research group that did like a PBL of their own choice and public service announcements, but it was them at the end going through different classrooms to explain what they've learned to everybody else. I knew they thought they were so cool, but it was really, really good because they did know what they were talking about. They didn't just do a report and just speak out on what it was. It was from them that they learned, and it was a lot of very sketchy and sometimes not great sessions that we had, because they would get frustrated and not know where to turn. But I think just not giving them the answers and sticking with that is one of the things that help. And the 4th graders became my tech experts. That you've heard that everyone knows what that is already. But they were the ones that would teach the teachers and teach the other children. And the teachers came back to me and said, "Thank you for having those kids, because now in my classroom, they're helping the students that I can't help." So I think it's that kind of thinking and working that will help them.
I'll add something. For me, when I work with schools, it starts with the administration, because if you have a school where the teachers don't feel empowered and the teachers don't feel like they have a voice, then that's not going to happen in the classrooms either, right? So the principal has to first agree that we're going to change the culture of the school, not just when we're doing coding, not just when we're in the makerspace, but we're going to change the entire culture of the school, where everything that we do is student centered. So that's the way that I look at it, is helping the principal to let go a little bit and trust that the teachers are going to do what they're supposed to be doing, and the standards are going to get met, and that we're going to do this in a way that's empowering to students.
I can't agree more. I think the admin side of thing is huge, and it all trickles off their energy. They play a huge part of that. So, one of the things I've seen that works wonders is I've seen right here in Jersey, a great friend of mine decided to adopt design thinking school wide as a method of philosophy that had to be incorporated in almost lessons throughout all subjects, there had to be some design thinking projects there. But what that did was it created a atmosphere that students saw a problem in their school. They applied design thinking to figure out some solutions to it, but it put them in the center of it, because as things got solved, students were walking around with ownership saying, hey, I helped solve that problem. Something else I want to throw out there, TED Ed does an amazing job. I'm actually a TED Ed innovative educator, and one of the things we talk and promote is TED Talks. And I think putting kids in the center of stage and allowing them to express feelings and passions about problems that they see around themselves, and not just discuss about those problems, but let's figure out a solution, and great thought out solutions of how to get through those problems, I think is an amazing way of giving kids students voices and putting them in the center of it all. Also, I mean, app-wise that you can use tomorrow, Flipgrid. I'm a Flipgrid ambassador. I love using Flipgrid because, again, it gives them a voice in the classroom, throwing a question up there and allowing them to voice their opinion on their terms, in their world, and that's video chatting and things like that. Also, one quick thing, I love the idea of, and we're doing this at STEM Camp. Currently in STEM Camp, we have 3 classes, STEM 1, 2, and 3. And what we have is an integration of these camps. So what I have is some of our students are actually teachers at camps. So all our STEM 3 kids trickle down in a rotating schedule. They're in classrooms assistant teachers in STEM 1 and 2, twice a period a day, and then one period they're in classroom tinkering on their own project. But what they're doing is not only assistant teachers, some of them are stepping up and teaching. So we have our STEM 3 kids teaching our STEM 2 kids and 1 kids about the Ozobots, and letting them come in and run the whole thing. So in the STEM 3 class, when they're in class, with the one teacher, that's what the teacher's doing, is helping them design mini lessons that they can go and trickle out. And you will be amazed when you see the power that these students possess in so many different layers and aspects when it comes to them wanting to teach others and wanting to assist in that world. There's still something very heartful about it. And one of the things in design thinking in the maker world and STEM is the idea of empathy. And it's something that is lacking in schools, society, everywhere we look. And it brings that empathy into classrooms. And I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. So just moving on to another question we have. We're just talking about design thinking. How can we tie in design thinking into rigorous problems solving expeditions, making it fun for kids, making them want to figure out these problems? How can we bring design thinking into this? Anybody want to jump in?
I'll give it a try. I think it's hard. I'm working with a school right now that's trying to shift from the engineering design process to design thinking. And even as they're planning out their curriculum, they're struggling because, as you said, with design thinking, it starts with that empathy, right? And it's not about the thing, right? It's about the person or the client or the situation. And so I think that that's really hard when you have lots of really cool toys that you want to play with and use, to say, well, it's not about that thing over there. It's about who's this person, what does this person need, and what is the best tool or the best idea to meet the needs of this person. So I don't think that I gave a good answer, but I think it's hard.
Well, then doesn't that also kind of, if you think about the way that schools or districts or even just nationally, you're trying to create curriculum without your client sitting right there with you having the conversation about what is important for them, and it's tough when you're within a district or a school or just in a system where here are your standards, here's what you need to do, here's the test at the end of the quarter, and it's taken out the empathy part of it, and I think it's where we've got a panel right here to say enough's enough. We've got to get the stakeholders as be part of the meeting to help design those curriculum. That's all I got. And I got to go to dinner. So we'll talk to you later.
Thanks for joining us, Michael.
Can I jump in real quick? So I work in North Carolina, which everybody knows is heavily focused on state testing. You guys read the news, so you know. And I find that when I do PD, like one of the hardest things with teachers is, especially with things like design thinking, is just the control, because it's hard for them to give up the control, because the light at the end of the tunnel for them is so focused on that summative assessment. And so I think, I don't have the answer for the best way to do this, but I know that I think we just have to continue to encourage them to give students time and space and freedom to do investigative learning. And so things like 20% time in Genius Hour are kind of a great way to start. They're super accessible. It's a great compromise for teachers to feel like they're not having to give up total control, and they can still put some parameters on what kids are doing. But I think once they see some of the awesome things that kids are passionate about, that hopefully inspires them to kind of let go a little bit more and let kids do some of the learning. And I did put a link out earlier. The Beginner's Guide to Design Thinking by AJ Giuliani is really great, especially if you have teachers who are sort of like on the fence, like they're ready to go with it, right? And they just need a little bit of a push. That's a great place to start. And there's some really great examples of schools and districts and things who have kind of implemented investigative thinking and design thinking, and some really practical ways to kind of do that. He obviously talks about the book Launch, but things like that are pretty practical and easy to kind of, sort of marry with the curriculum that you're already doing.
Tommy, I just want to piggyback off what you said, because I think control is a really, really big, one of the big roadblocks when it comes to design thinking, is because, and I think it stems a little bit deeper than we think. When we're all taking our teacher courses and we have to take those classroom management 101 courses, we are told from the beginning, you are in control. You don't let it go. You don't give up. You don't show them weakness. All these, things are literally created for us to be in control. So when you have something like design thinking come in, that's pretty much saying, put the student at the center, let go of control, let them run with it. Everyone becomes very panicky and scared, and what if? And I totally get it. And one of my biggest resources is AJ's book, Launch. Most recently, was talking with Ross Cooper, who also has a book with PBL, and we were talking about the ties between problem-based learning and design thinking, and the strong ties between the two. But please check out AJ Giuliani's and John Spencer's book, Launch, because it's pretty much design thinking in the educational world. And they added a great piece to design thinking for education, which was the actual launch piece, which is students, being put into a showcase type of feel where they're able to launch their ideas and make them a reality one way or another. So great resources. I just wanted to piggyback off all of that. Just moving right along, we're just going to also real quick, design thinking. The Teachers Guild provides a free design thinking almost curriculum guide for educators. It's absolutely free. You can go to their website. It's a great resource as well. Breaks it down for everyone. So our last question. So this upcoming year, what are we looking, or how are we looking to bring innovation or promote a maker mindset in your upcoming school year? What are some things you're trying to, are you going to try to play with or try out or start to tinker on your end? I know one of the things, really quick, I'm looking to really try to push this year, and it's because I'm a Raspberry Pi certified educator, and we have 2 in our district now, so we really want to push out Raspberry Pi, which is all in this whole coding world, and it's just a world of awesomeness. Please check that out. So that's one of the things we're going to be pushing. But either way, what are you looking to use as far as innovation or how to promote that maker mindset in this upcoming year?
Well, I just want to, can I speak? I don't know. Okay. Just for one second. One of the things I'm talking about, which goes along with that the maker space kind of a thing, it's not just in my library or in a room. So what I've done is we've come up with a name called Imagination Station, and we've made signs for every single classroom. And a local police department actually this year funded this for us. They gave us Legos and mag formers and things like that to create a space, at least in each classroom itself, for them to remember that this is a place where they can create. And we try to build different things and add to that in each classroom. So, it depends on the teacher where they want to go with it. But I mean, it's hard. Okay.
Okay, I want to promote more ed camps this year with focus, like coding ed camps. So yeah, I see the thumbs up, and the makerspace ed camps, so that teachers who are a little hesitant about jumping into directed PD, they can work with teachers who are already doing it in a comfortable setting to get the ideas to get them started. The innovation has to start with our teachers, even those of us who just jumped in it with our students. We need some additional support too. So I think we're going to try to do more ed camps this year. I love it. Sarah saying thumbs up too. So that's the direction I want to go on, because my main focus each and every day is supporting and helping my teachers get better at what they do.
Can I jump in real quick? Ed camps, yes. So I do PD mostly for teachers. So what we've tried to do is we've started to do sort of like mini ed camps within like all day PDs, which is a really great break for them. And it really empowers them, right? Because it's a safe environment. They get to kind of lead discussions and be a part of discussions. So I love that. That's super great. And another thing that I want to try to do, it's not really using a particular tool, but I want to spend some time with teachers this school year talking about collecting data for doing these kinds of things, right? So like, we're not just doing these things, we're not just being innovative, but how are we collecting, especially qualitative data, about how it makes kids feel, how it is influencing their learning, how it is helping them to with student agency. Because I think that that's a really important piece, is we have to empower teachers to be able to not only collect data, but be able to use it so that they can advocate for what they're doing in their classrooms, advocate for their students, advocate for whatever needs they might have, whether it be tools or time or space or whatever. So that's something that I really want to try to focus on, because I feel like, especially with PD, one of the important things is sustainability. So I'm not going to be there every day. So after like I leave or my colleagues leave or whoever's doing PD leaves, I want to leave these teachers with something that is sustainable for them so that they can carry on, these things that we're helping them to do. So for me, it's, I want to, especially qualitative data. I mean, quantitative is obviously important, but the qualitative data, because I think those kids' stories and teacher stories are so powerful and sort of helping to continue to help these programs be built in schools and districts.
So Sarah just nudged me to talk about a book that we're doing through EduMatch. And Sarah, I may need some help from you, so you can come behind me and fix what I'm about to say. We are trying to make a collaborative or write a collaborative book that has all of your ideas on what works for you in your maker spaces with your coding, and allow you to share. My colleague Barbara Liedall, who couldn't be here today, and I are, I guess, working with Sarah to edit the book. But Sarah, I'm going to stop. I'm hoping that you'll jump in and help me with this.
Oh yeah, totally. So very excited about this crowdsourced book. So definitely if y'all have been following the EduMatch journey, we have released 2 crowdsourced books. So the first one was kind of a snapshot of education 2016. The second one was a cookbook. And the third one that we're working on is also this awesome idea that Susan and Barbara brought about crowdsourcing and maker books. So just getting makers from around the country, around the world, to just submit maybe a chapter on what they feel, what they're seeing and what they're experiencing in their environment. So definitely looking forward to seeing that. So if anybody is interested in that, then the link is books.edumatch.org/ Maker Book Interest. And we're not tweeting that out just because that's going to open up the floodgates, but definitely for anyone who is interested, who might be on panel today or who might be watching, or who might know someone who's interested in submitting a chapter, then we'd love to get that crowdsourced book going along. So yeah, that's a little more about that.
Thank you, Sarah.
That is awesome. A crowdsourced book for makers. That is awesome. I definitely got to connect with you on that, Sarah. Would love to be a part of that idea. That is great. That's awesome. Awesome.
I want to piggyback on what Tavia was saying about data collection. And if anybody knows of somebody already doing this, please put it in the chat or on Twitter. I'm really interested in people that are starting to collect longitudinal data on the impact that this focus on coding and computer science is really having on sustained student interest in computer science. Because I feel like, we're seeing a lot of excited kids that are becoming aware and that are having really cool experiences, but how much of that is translating into long-term, infiltration into the computer science world, beyond K-12. So that's one thing that I'm really interested in this year, is starting to collect data, quantitative, qualitative, it doesn't really matter, but just kind of long-term looking at kids in their interest, and what are the experiences that they're having that are leading to that long-term sustained interest, whether that's experiences in their classroom or at home or in the summer or anything. So that's one thing. The other thing is piggybacking on what Marcos was talking about in terms of robotics. I'm really interested in looking at the use of robotics in the core curriculum and how we can help our core teachers to think about utilization of computer science in their classrooms. Because in the real world, computer science does not exist outside of some other content area. So people are creating things for some industry. So we need to help our core teachers understand how can we bring computer science into their classrooms as just another tool, just like a piece of paper and a pencil.
Right. Yes. Absolutely. I just want to say here to both everything you just said, the longitudinal studies, absolutely. The what was the other thing you just said? The cross-curricular use of coding, and yeah, thank you. That was awesome.
Right. Cool. Well, this has been such an awesome discussion. Is before we wrap up, is there anything else that anyone wanted to share? And if not, then I'll edit this part out magically.
I just again wanted to just share hands-on coding again coming out very very soon, and possibly some interesting projects stemming off of that. Also, Teachers Guild Fellowship, which is happening out in San Francisco. I'm happy to say I will be part of that as well. So hopefully bringing this idea of hackathons to education as a part of a learning experience to the mainstream educational world. So please look forward and look ahead for that, for hackathons in education.
Awesome. Super excited about that, and super excited about all of the conversation that we had tonight. So thank you all so much for bringing all of your insights, all of your expertise. This was such a rich discussion. Just wanted to reiterate that that Susan and Barbara Lidahl are going to be crowdsourcing a book. So definitely check that out, books.edumatch.org/maker Maker Book Interest. In addition, the audio from this podcast will be available on iTunes, on Stitcher, and anywhere else that you get your podcast. So check that out. And next week, then please come back. We will be talking with the moderators of RJ League Chat, Kate and Victor. So definitely check that out. So it's going to be same bad time, same bad channel. Anyone can sign up. So you can go to podcasts.edumatch.org/sign up. One more time, giving a shout out to EdChange Global coming up on July 28th. Check them out at Ed Change Global. Also, EdCamp EduMatch will be coming August 5th. So check out edcampedumatch.org. And last but not least, the Phys Ed Summit will be coming up. So check out at PhysEdAgaji on Twitter for more information on that. So again, thank you all so much for an awesome discussion tonight, and hope to catch you next week.